Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here with another episode of Kerbal Space Program 1.2 Career Mode. When we last left off, we brought the monstrosity, the Duna 1, into orbit, a 75 by 102 orbit, and our next step is to rendezvous with our fueling vessel, and we are using this nuclear engine to push ourselves along. We have a little bit of fuel left in this tank, so I will go ahead and transfer, no, I did it again. All the fuel out of the lander and into our orange tank for maximum time here. Let's go ahead and set Minmus as our target. How is our nodes? 5.5 degrees. Can we perhaps catch it on our ascending node? That would work out quite well for us if that was indeed the case. No, come on, give me the dial. Give me the dial. All right, there we go. Make our apoapsis touch our ascending node. Yes. Oh, tell me all about it. So we don't need to do an inclination change if we nail this maneuver, which is a 900 meter a second burn. And that's going to be quite a bit, if I'm honest. Yeah, an 11-minute burn. So this nuclear engine does not get up and go, unfortunately. We might have to make 2 passes around, which will sort of throw off our timing, all things considered. We only need, well, so that Minmus fueler can fill up this completely. This tank alone also takes 720. So this holds 1/3 of the fuel of the orange tank. We won't need all of it to land on Duna. We have our drogue chutes and our radial parachutes to do the majority of slowing down. This will just get us into orbit to meet back up with this section and allow us to return home on this nuclear power. An 11-minute burn, however, is a little rough. I am not going to lie. Let's go ahead and rotate our craft around. Luckily, the capsule does have rotational authority. I don't need to thrust any when we are trying to align ourselves. So 5 minutes and 24 seconds? It seems like a lot. We're actually probably going to be off just a little bit because we are burning so early. We might actually be pointing down to the surface of Kerbal. But as long as we get the maneuver done, it should be okay. And that's the thing with this nuclear engine. Perhaps, you know what? Let's just try something. I mean, we've got fuel waiting for us. And if this goes wrong, you won't be seeing this anyway. So if you're watching this, this must have worked. Let's transfer all the fuel out of, or all the fuel we possibly can into our lander, and then use our lander to do the maneuver. We won't be burning so long. We'll have a more potent thrust, let's say. And we'll still have a half a tank on the orange. You know, once we fuel up, we will be okay. Let's go ahead and shut down the nuclear engine here and activate all 4 of these guys. Hopefully this will be enough to do the work. Let's go ahead and give this a test fire to see how we're doing. All right, so 1:28. That's a little bit more manageable, I think. We're sort of sacrificing the efficiency of this engine for time. In the grand scheme of things, this may actually come back to bite us. But for 45 seconds on either side of the node, we are going to be burning full. So there we go. Hold right there. Hold what you got. We can always transfer more fuel in. I'm not exactly sure if we will have I'll be using RCS though. Whenever we park around Minmus, I'll be using my RCS fuel to sort of maneuver us around. Use up as much fuel as we can here. Orange tank is holding steady. We're going to have to catch Minmus, or we're going to have to catch Duna at just the right time so we don't have to spend all day burning out to reach it. Once we get out to the great beyond, however, we can use RCS to make our adjustments. All right, let's slow this guy down and hope that we hit Minmus right on the noggin. I'll use the nuclear engine to circularize because we don't need that much of a speed change, I don't believe, to get into Minmus orbit. 0.6. Are we in? Yes, we are going to encounter Minmus. Let's transfer what fuel we have in here. In there. For our nuclear engine, we will shut down these engines. We do not need them. And I will see you whenever we are about to circularize around Minmus. So just one moment. All right, 1, 2, 3. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Saka here with another episode of Kerbal Space Program 1.2 Career Mode. This is where we left off. Our craft is inside Kerbal orbit, and we were plotting a course out here to Minmus. Now, one thing that we will have to do is we are going to have to sort of use the Oberth effect as best we can. So if we plot a course here, we can hit an encounter with Minmus right there. But I don't believe that we will have the time to do it because this engine is it's very efficient and it doesn't pack much boost. That is an 11-minute burn that we are going to have to do. And let's see if this works. I tried before to just use the lander here to execute the maneuver, but I used a ton of fuel. So what I'm actually going to do this time is I'm going to use the nuclear engine itself to fulfill the maneuver and see if we can get to Minmus with more fuel than when I arrived last time. Sort of some behind the scenes work for you. But I'm going to do this low, slow burn on camera, but at a very high rate of speed. So you can see what 5 minutes and some odd seconds of burn will look like. Essentially, I think what I want to do is just sort of turn prograde here and use that. And our maneuver node will slowly come to us because this engine takes so long to get up to speed. I think it's better that we do this instead of aim directly to the ground and perhaps run ourselves astray. So let us speed up Let's go full pro grade, and I will see you when we are on our way to Minmus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've decided to sort of cut the throttle here, and let's go back around and use the Oberth effect. We've probably missed our Minmus encounter. No. All right. So by the time we get out there, Minmus will be right there. I believe this is looking pretty good and only a 2-minute, 14-second burn for us. Let's warp to the next maneuver then and use the Oberth effect to its fullest. When we come back around here, Kerbal will be slingshotting us forward, and that will be ideal for us. We're going to really start picking up speed now that we're falling back down to the planet, and giving us all of that speed for absolutely nothing, as I talked about in the beginner tutorial. So we are going to be picking up a lot of speed, and right when we come out of the time warp, full power. Let's stick with it here. All right, things are looking good. I believe I have more fuel in the spacecraft than I did before. We have nothing in that lander, so the fuel that we pick up from our buddy is the fuel that we are going to take to Duna. If I'm not feeling that comfortable about it, what I'll do is off camera, I will land that mining station again. I'll refuel, do a quick hop, and then come back up to this ship, do some fueling runs. That way we can fill up our spacecraft as much as possible, but I won't bore you with shuttle runs back and forth. I'll just get this bad boy in orbit, use this craft to bring some fuel back, and then see how we are looking in the grand scheme of things. Point 1, there we go. We should be on our way to Minmus, and we are. We are going to catch it right before our apoapse, so we're going to be slowing down really well. We should see Minmus start to appear. There is Minmus there. And it should be another long, slow burn to circularize around Minmus. Remember, we're going for about a 50,000 meter orbit. That is where our fueling station should be living. And the great irony is, I do not see our buddy the fueling station. So if we get all the way out here and our fueling station is bust, I'm not sure what we can do besides do another fueling mission and come back. All right, so here we go. We need to add a maneuver. We want to pull retrograde, and that was way too much. Let's actually do it this way and push the prograde back so it's a little more refined, because I don't want to essentially flip around backwards. All right, so we will be captured right there and circularized. There is our fueler craft. It won't take that much fuel to adjust our inclination against this guy. And that's another 2-minute, 20-second burn. Let's actually warp to about right here. And I will see you when we are captured and on our way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to adjust our inclination. I didn't do a tight circularization just for the sheer fact that because we're not going to be moving that fast, it won't take a whole lot of effort for us to zero out our inclination, just like so. So there we go, 0.1. So now I think what I am going to do is I'm going to count on having enough RCS fuel in this section here to just use RCS to maneuver around and to sort of get in line. But you know what? Let's not take any chances. We're already here. Let's not take any chances. Let's fill up this spacecraft as much as we can. However, well, we don't want to do that. We want to bring back as much fuel as possible, don't we? All right, so I will just get a smidgen. And a smidgen is a scientific term. 107, so that will bring back 600 more fuel for us. I believe we will be okay with that. 1.8 by 2.2. It probably wouldn't hurt to slow down the spacecraft just a bit to make sure that we're pretty much in a circle. So let's go retrograde here. And then I'll just use the RCS thrusters to slow us down. I'm not going to use any more liquid fuel. And I completely forgot about the fact that the nuclear engine does not use oxidizer, like at all. So we've got plenty of oxidizer in the tank, and that extra oxidizer in this orange tank may have been the difference between, you know, life and death, or making it and not making it, essentially. So, you know, hindsight's 20/20. Hopefully you did not make that same mistake, or will make that same mistake in the future. Hopefully I've saved you, but I am going to line up our orbits, and when you see me next, we should be pulling alongside our fueling buddy, and hopefully being able to siphon some of that fuel and bring it back. So just one moment, I will be right back with you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we are ready to dock. I'm just getting my bearings straight so I can see which way this guy is facing, and there's the rig there. So we will actually want to get the docking port junior right there. Let's just use some RCS thrusters here and adjust our approach as per usual using only the RCS. We've got plenty of electric charge here, so we can take it nice and easy if we need to. 1 meter a second. Let's see if we can get in close enough to see the docking port, which will make our job a whole lot easier when we can see it and actually select it as our target. So there it is. Let's slow down with our RCS thrusters now and essentially park it. Come on, we need to see that docking port. There we go. We've set the Clampetron Junior as our target. We are essentially going to come down in front of it, I believe, and then park, and then just sort of turn into it. Matter of fact, what we can do is we can back up just a bit. Let's use some lateral thrusters here to push ourselves away. And then once we line up here, all right, let's point at the target here. Use our RCS. Move forward and use, oh, we missed it. Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up. There we go. It's a little tricky coming from this angle, but I believe we'll be okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's pretty much point straight up and down, and then we will burn forward and line up sort of manually. Something like that. And then we will point at it and essentially go for it. Whoops. All right, turn off RCS. We don't need it. Not while we're turning. We don't want that to affect us any. Let's essentially come to a complete stop here. All right, now let's turn towards our target. RCS and move forward. Let's do our little micro adjustments here. Moving forward at 0.2 meters a second, which should be close enough. And then we'll be able to dock up and bring the fuel back. One thing that I did notice, though, that I'm not a fan of, is when we departed, that other part of the ship was not showing up. It essentially, I guess, thought it was space junk, and that's not good for anybody. But here we go, nice and easy, SAS off. The magnets will go to work. Our Clampetron Juniors will come together right now over me. Maybe. There we go. Excellent. So we are docked up. Let's get all of the fuel out of this that we possibly can. In. All of it. We want all of your fuel, which will essentially bring back another 600 fuel. We're transferring a near full tank to a near empty tank. So that's got to be close here. now the next step, let's undock here and see if we can find our target. Let's back up just using that RCS. Our mining rig will float dead for all eternity. And now I need, okay, let's go to the tracking station here and see if we can track that quote-unquote debris. Yeah, there it is. Untitled spacecraft. Yeah, that's what we need to track. Now, hopefully we can dock back up to it because, I mean, there's a lot of fuel in here. All right. So let's head back to the Duna 1 and then see if that junk is still available on the map. There it is. Nope, that's moons. Minmus satellite debris. Duna 1 debris. Set as target. Excellent. All right, so that is going to do it for me and this episode, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, the next episode, we will be docking up with our former stage, and then we can proceed on to Duna. So like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. And for Valentina, Liz, Reen, and Bob, I will see you in the next Kerbal Space Program video. Take care.